Yesterday, for me, I had a chance to tour a small to medium-sized company in the eastern part of Pennsylvania. Easton, Pennsylvania is where they're located. Sussex Wire is the name of the company, and they have a very sophisticated technology whereby they take wire, and without heating it and without grinding it, they use a process that turns it into the shape and form that their customers require. It's a very sophisticated process. They can crank out tremendous volumes. And this relatively small business, they have, I think, 55 employees, they're doing really well. It's manufacturing in Pennsylvania, in America. As a direct result of the tax reform that we passed, their tax burden has been diminished, and that has in turn allowed them to speed up the hiring of 5 or 6 new workers. 5 or 6 people that didn't have a job, don't have a job today, but they're going to have a job soon because Sussex Wire is hiring. And they're right now out looking for the folks that are going to expand their workforce, expand the ability of this terrific company to do even more. The tax reform is also accelerating their ability to purchase new equipment. The new equipment that they buy allows them to do more work more productively. It allows their workers to produce more of the little tools and devices that they produce. And when workers produce more, when they're more productive, then they can earn more income. And that's exactly what's happening at Sussex Wire. And this is before we've had the opportunity to have all of these investments actually take place. So I'm thrilled how quickly we are seeing tangible benefits for the people that I represent as a result of this tax reform. Of course, it's not just Sussex Wire. It's happening all across America. It's happening certainly all across Pennsylvania. I hope we'll hear about some of the examples tonight when the President gives his State of the Union address. But at latest count, there are over 3 million American workers who have already gotten an increase in their compensation. Their employers have provided them either a pay raise or a bonus or a contribution to their pension plan or some combination of those things, precisely because these businesses have more free cash flow as a result of lower taxes. 3 million workers from almost 300 businesses. And since the last time I came down to the floor and spoke about this phenomenon, there have been many, many more Pennsylvanians benefiting from this. Employees of the Home Depot. There are 70 locations across Pennsylvania, and those employees, the thousands, I suppose, altogether, they're receiving $1,000 each. FedEx, which has a huge presence in Pennsylvania, has announced $200 million in raises, $1.5 billion in new investment in distribution hubs, another $1.5 billion that they're contributing for their employees' pensions. PPG in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, $50 million in new capital projects, in part because the tax code treats that investment better than our tax code used to, and so it's encouraging more of this investment. H&K Equipment in Coraopolis in western Pennsylvania, increasing their investments by 50% this year, again, in response to this tax reform. The Wall Street Journal reported over the weekend, manufacturing investment is already going up. It's already increasing. And this is going to be very, very beneficial. First of all, it helps all the workers who produce the equipment that companies are investing in. Secondly, someone needs to operate this equipment. So when a company goes out and buys a new piece of equipment, new machinery, there is the job security or the new job being created for the person who operates it. And then thirdly, there's the enhancement in productivity, which allows for higher compensation. Mr. President, this is all happening at a time when our unemployment rate is relatively low. It's at an all-time record low for African Americans. It's low generally by recent decade standards. And what that means is this demand for more workers is going to translate into upward pressure on wages. I think we're already seeing it. It's very, very encouraging, and it's just a tremendous success for our workers. So, Mr. President, I was very confident that this would be among the consequences, the constructive consequences of our tax reform, but I will confess, I didn't realize it would happen so quickly. This is great news for Pennsylvanians, and it's great news for Americans. With that, I yield the floor.